Hello, LiveLaw viewers. Welcome to Courts Today. Let us dive into the important legal headlines of the day. The Lok Sabha has passed the Waqf Amendment Bill 2025 after 14 hours of debate. The Supreme Court has upheld quashing of 25,000 staff appointments by West Bengal SSC in 2016. The Supreme Court judges have decided to make their assets declarations public. The top court has stayed tree felling in Kanchagachibauli land in Hyderabad and has also sought report from Telangana High Court Registrar. The Delhi High Court has held that driving in high speed is insufficient to conclude that the driver acted in rash and negligent manner. And a Bengaluru civic body has introduced new garbage tax. The Bengaluru residents are to pay solid waste management user fee from 1st April. Before I get to the details, here is an exciting opportunity for judiciary aspirants. LiveLaw Academy, LiveLaw's judiciary coaching initiative, has opened registrations for its May batch. Choose from two tailored courses: Jessup 2.0, a comprehensive 18-month online program covering everything you need to crack the judiciary exam, taught by an expert panel including retired judges. And second, Jessup Lite, a flexible weekday only program for those who prefer a structured yet lighter approach. Sign up by April 10th and get an exclusive 30% early bird discount. Plus, enjoy free LiveLaw subscriptions, case compilations, and much more. Don't miss this opportunity. Enroll today at www.livelawacademy.in. I'm your host Urvashi Chauhan, bringing you the important legal updates, quick, crisp, and to the point. Watch this till the end, and if you find this update valuable, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. After an intense debate lasting nearly 14 hours, the Waqf Amendment Act 2025 was passed in the Lok Sabha at past midnight at about 2 a.m. The bill was tabled in the Lok Sabha yesterday by Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Kiran Rijiju. The legislation was passed with 288 votes in favor and 232 votes against it. Waqf is the permanent dedication by any person for any purpose recognized by the Muslim law as pious, religious, or charitable. The Waqf Amendment Bill 2024 was introduced in Lok Sabha last year in August. Approximately 40 amendments were proposed to the existing Waqf Act of 1995 as amended in 2013, aimed at modernizing Waqf administration, reducing litigation, and ensuring the efficient management of Waqf properties. After significant criticism from the opposition, it was sent to the Joint Parliamentary Committee for wider scrutiny of the proposed reforms. The committee has more or less accepted the bill with certain changes. During the debate, the government and its members clarified that the Act intends to ensure effective management of Waqf property to ensure that the revenue generated from Waqf is equitably divided for the welfare of Muslims. Rijiju stated that the government has accepted some of the Joint Parliamentary Committee's recommendations and also clarified that the provisions of Waqf by user is prospective in nature. Let me tell you, this was also clarified by Minister of Home Affairs Amit Shah. Shah ensured that there will be no interference with the religious affairs of Muslims. The opposition, on the other hand, criticized the law as violating Article 25 of the Constitution and alleged that the government was trying to divide the people on religion. Some of the members also questioned the working of the Joint Parliamentary Committee. In general, the opposition objected to inclusion of non-Muslims in the Central Waqf Council and the State Waqf Board. Well, for detailed reading on this, you can refer to exclusive coverage by our correspondent Gursimran Kaur Bakshi at livelaw.in. In a significant update today, the Supreme Court has upheld Calcutta High Court's decision to cancel nearly 25,000 teaching and non-teaching staff appointments made by the West Bengal School Service Commission. These appointments were made in 2016 and were found to be fraudulent, with large-scale manipulation in the selection process. The High Court had declared the entire process null and void, leading to termination of those appointed through this recruitment drive. Let me tell you, this case revolves around allegations that the selection process was rigged, with marks being illegally increased for certain candidates. The original OMR sheets, which contained the candidates' answers, were destroyed after a year, making it difficult to verify the authenticity of the results. Investigations by the CBI revealed that undeserving candidates were awarded higher marks, confirming large-scale fraud in the hiring process. The Supreme Court, agreeing with the High Court, has stated that the selection process was so deeply flawed that it could not be rectified. It has ordered that the appointments of all tainted candidates be cancelled and they will refund any salaries that they had received. However, those already working in schools would not have to return their salaries, but their jobs would still be terminated. The top court has directed the West Bengal government and the commission to start a fresh selection process within 3 months. It also left room for untainted candidates to be considered in the new recruitment drive. This decision impacts thousands of teaching and non teaching staff in government schools across the state. The West Bengal government, let me tell you, had argued that cancelling all appointments without distinguishing between fraudulent and genuine candidates would create a staffing crisis in schools. However, the court maintained that since the entire process was compromised, there was no way to separate valid from the invalid selections without a complete reevaluation. The court did not interfere with the High Court's direction allowing one disabled appointee to continue on humanitarian grounds. But the court clarified that other disabled candidates will not be entitled to the same benefit. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court will separately hear West Bengal government's appeal against the High Court's order for a CBI probe into the matter on 4th April. In a significant step towards transparency and boosting public confidence in the judiciary, all judges of the Supreme Court have agreed to make the declaration of their assets publicly available. At a full court, the judges decided to disclose their assets to the Chief Justice of India, with the declarations to be uploaded on the Supreme Court's official website. Well, this decision follows controversy over the alleged discovery of cash at official premises of Justice Yashwant Verma while he was serving as a judge of the Delhi High Court. The specific modalities for publishing the judges' assets declarations will be finalized in due course. Let me tell you, presently, all judges of the Supreme Court have submitted their declarations of assets. However, these declarations have not been made public. You must have seen visuals on social media showing large-scale tree felling in Telangana's Kancha Gachibowli forest near the Hyderabad Central University campus. The widespread deforestation has sparkled outrage among citizens across the country, raising serious environmental concerns. While in response, the Supreme Court has stepped in and has issued an interim order today, putting an immediate halt to the felling of trees in the area. A government order reportedly issued by the Telangana State Industrial Infrastructure Corporation directed the alienation of 400 acres of green cover land in Kancha Gachibowli for the development of IT infrastructure. Today, after senior advocate K. Parameshwar acting as amicus curiae in forest-related matters raised concerns about the felling, a bench of Justices B.R. Gawai and A.G. Masih passed this order. The court has directed the Registrar of Telangana High Court to inspect the site and submit a report. Meanwhile, the Chief Secretary of the state has been ordered to ensure that no further tree cutting takes place until further notice. The court significantly said that as per news reports, authorities took advantage of the long weekend to accelerate the tree felling in the forest that is said to be home to 8 types of scheduled animals, raising concerns over environmental damage. Representing the Telangana government, senior advocate Dr. A.M. Singhvi informed the court that the Telangana High Court is already hearing the matter and has ordered a status quo on tree felling until today. The Supreme Court's intervention here puts a complete stop to the deforestation until further orders. Stay tuned. These days, we frequently hear about tragic incidents where rash driving leads to the loss of innocent lives. For instance, the Pune Porsche accident, which resulted in the deaths of 2 IT engineers. These highlight the severe consequences of reckless driving and the urgent need for stricter enforcement of traffic laws. In this context, the Delhi High Court's recent observation gains significance as it clarifies that merely driving at high speed does not automatically imply rash and negligent behavior, emphasizing the importance of concrete evidence in such cases. Justice Saurabh Banerjee made this observation while discharging a man who was accused of driving at high speed and hitting 2 pedestrians who later died in the accident. The court emphasized that just because the driver was going fast, it does not necessarily prove recklessness or negligence. The man here was convicted by the trial court under IPC for rash driving and for causing death by negligence. He was sentenced to 2 years of rigorous imprisonment. But the High Court has overturned this, stating that there was no concrete evidence to show that his driving was rash or negligent. The court pointed out that neither the witnesses nor the prosecution clarified what exactly was meant by high speed or how fast the man was actually driving. It has held that the prosecution failed to establish beyond a reasonable doubt that the driver's actions led to pedestrians' deaths due to rash and negligent driving. The Bengaluru civic body Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagarpalike has introduced garbage tax, under which the residents of Bengaluru have to pay a solid waste management user fee from 1st April 2025. 2025. The initiative has been taken by the government to improve the waste collection and disposal across the city. The government aims to generate 685 crores through this initiative in the current fiscal year. The charges would be based on the building area in the city. Also, different types of tax are being levied upon shops, residential buildings, and hotels. The hotels which are paying rupees 5 per kg for garbage will be paying 12 rupees per kg of garbage. The garbage tax will be paid annually along with the property tax, and then it will be divided among the residents. For residential buildings up to 600 square feet, a user charge of rupees 10 per month will be collected from each house. Whereas for the commercial building, the user charge is 12 rupees per kg of waste. The user charge will be increased by 5% every year. For buildings up to 4,000 square feet or more, a user charge of rupees 400 per month will be collected from each house. The garbage tax comes after a hike in the prices of essential commodities such as electricity, milk, and public transport fares.